welcome to my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. Today, as you can see, we are doing a fabric and patterns haul. I have not gotten many patterns, but as you can see, I am a little bit out of control on fabric. In this video, we'll start with tools, go into like embellishments and trims, then patterns, and then last but not least, fabric. So I will have that all in the menu down below. But yeah, first we'll start kind of with tools. I got some cute, I'll get them out of the bag. Cute little skizzies. They're just, I don't know, little blue striped scissors. While at a fabric shop in Portland, I picked up this seam ripper. It's an ergonomic one. I really prefer my ergonomic ones, so I picked this guy up. And then I got a clip and glide bodkin. I have not found a bodkin that I like, but this one is maybe promising because it's a little bit less, I think, wide than some of the ones I have. We'll see if that's correct, but I figured it was worth a go. And then I got two different types of thimbles at Seattle Recreative. I got a leather thimble and I got a rubber thimble. I'm just getting some secondhand thimbles because I'm trying to figure out how to make thimbles work for me. Like, I know how you sew with a thimble, but it never quite feels right or comfortable for me, so I don't know. As far as embellishments per se, I got some dungaree hardware kits. I got these over at Style Maker. If I can find them, I'll link them down below. I got the color champagne and matte black. I didn't even check how wide they are. Oh, they're in centimeters, of course. But yeah, I thought these were really cute, and I make overalls quite often, so I thought it would be nice to have some different colors. Joann's only offers 2 colors and each size is only 1 color, so I don't have a ton of options for that, so I thought these were fun to pick up. I also picked up, they're just some little gold safety pins. I've started to safety pin the number of yardage onto my fabric, so I needed more safety pins. I got these at Seattle Recreative. I'll show you, I'll pop a photo probably over here of these guys. But these are a bunch of beads I got for my pine needle basket making. I thought it would be fun to throw some beads into the mix. There are some beads in here that I definitely got for jewelry making too. I don't know, I went to my local bead shop, which I think is Bead World. It's up by the mall in Northgate in Seattle, if you're in Seattle. And I thought they were really cute, and yeah, I've been wanting to try using some beading in my basket making practice. Got a whole lot of buttons. These first ones are from Seattle Recreative. They're just these little sparkly buttons that I thought were really cute. I also got 2 big lots of glass buttons. One are a bunch of glass fruits, and the other are a bunch of like glass buttons. Both of these were a really good deal. I think it was like 100 plus buttons for about $50, which as far as glass buttons go is a pretty good deal. And there's like lots of sets in here. Like, there's not very many single buttons. So I'm pretty thrilled with that, and I just need to go through, sort them out and match them. The fruits I got after I bought some fruit buttons at an antique mall, a local antique mall, and I went on the internet and I Googled them, and I found a giant lot on Etsy for a really good price, so I picked them up for that because I do love my fruits. I also got, they're really cute, they're some star shaped studs. I've been planning on making like a really fun fringe like denim jacket or shirt. I haven't decided which, and these little star studs were perfect, and I was able to get these at it's called Sewn in Denver. I got a few other things there, so I'll talk about that more, but I got a bunch of these and I love the little stars, and they're, yeah, just little studs that you poke in and you bend. As far as trims go, I have a few different things. First thing I got for probably like a hairpiece or something is I got these like rainbow little fruit pieces. They're really, really cute. They're from probably the 40s, and I just thought they would make a nice little like hair bow, hairpiece, hair something, because they're so darn cute. So I picked them up for that reason. I really didn't need them. I was looking for fabric that I'll show you later, but I accidentally ended up with these. Whoops. And then as far as other trims, I got this really pretty rickrack, which kind of is like teal and yellow and pink. I really like this. I got this at a shop in Portland called Mills End, which I also got a bunch of fabric, so we'll talk about them some more too. From a shop called Allen's in Denver, I picked up this really pretty wheat trim. I don't quite know what to call this. I picked this up to use probably like on a gunny sacks or maybe a fall piece or something like that. And then I also picked up some cotton floral trim for, it looks like $4. That's really pretty. And I got some tatting thread for, again, for my basket making, actually. That is what all of these are for. This one has some nice pastel colors, but I could also crochet with it. I do sometimes make crochet things, and I have been kind of thinking about what I would make neck out of crochet if I find the time or desire. So I've been collecting some colors from that. A lot of these are from thrift shops, so they're significantly cheaper. And then also from Seattle Recreative, I got a bunch of the I got 2 things of the Hug and Snug rayon seam binding. I have some in white and some in brown. brown. I normally would have not have picked up the white. This was $2.50 and this was $1. I would normally not pick up the white, actually, or the brown, but I know that they stopped producing this, so any I can add to my stash, I will, because I use this a ton. And we're already to patterns. This is gonna be a very fabric heavy haul. So first, before, hi Spooky, wow. Oh, you silly precious goosies. Yeah, if you get on the fabric, it'll topple right over. Okay, can you stand right here? All right, I got this cute magazine from Backroom Finds. It's a 1940s catalog and Adams pattern catalog. I love to pick these up, especially if they're not the main name brands, because these are a lot of times patterns that are harder to find in the wild, so it's funner to see them in a book like this. I have a few Paris La Mode, so I'm adding this to I have a ton from 1940s collection. If I ever get sick, the content you're getting for me is going to be patterns like that. And then I bought a pattern from Lady Marlowe. I am either going to already have made this or be making this next week. I don't know exactly where this video falls in the order of stuff I'm making, but it's this beautiful 1930s evening gown that's like kind of backless and has these big billowy sleeves. I'm super excited to make this. This has been a dream dress for a while, and I finally feel ready to have the skills to tackle it because I believe it's pretty bias cut, which is not necessarily my skill. So that'll be a learning curve, but I'm excited and I think it's going to turn out really, really beautifully. And then I have a few patterns. I've been really good on my pattern buying, given it's just been these 5 for the past few months. I got a bunch of new skirt patterns that were a little bit bigger. So there's this one that has like a little ruffle on the bottom, as well as a plain, I think, full circle skirt. Yeah, but it's really, really cute. And then I also have this one, which is like a little kind of overall underbust skirt. I've grown out of most of my skirts and most of my skirt patterns, so I've decided to re-up, and these are also some variations I haven't seen before. I'm pretty confident on like making a gathered skirt or some of the other simple skirts, but for skirts like these, I do kind of feel the desire for a pattern. And then the last pattern I got, which is funny, I just saw Stephanie Canada of Backroom Finds put this up. I didn't get this one for her, but it was just a funny coincidence. It's just this little strapless number, and I like that it has, looks like it's an 8-panel dress, and I really like how dresses with this many panels fit me. I think it's really, really flattering and cute. So I picked this guy up, and I think it was a pretty good deal from what I recall. But with that, we are already to fabric. It did not take long to get here because this is the bulk of the stuff. So I have fabric from 2 different trips here, at least. I have a bunch of fabric from a trip I took to Portland and a bunch of fabric from a trip I took to Denver, where I visited some fabric stores, so I'm going to walk you through those. Actually, I got this one from Style Maker in Seattle. I can link it down below, but this is just a black rayon that I'm going to use for a lining. And similarly, I got this at Allen's Bridal Fabric in Denver, which is also just a plain lining. They're never that exciting to get, but you know, you have to have linings sometimes. But next up, we're into the Portland bunch. So these first, let me gather. Oh, actually, I got quite a bit. So I went to 3 or 4 fabric shops down there. And if you are in the Pacific Northwest and haven't been to Portland for fabric shopping, I would really recommend. Everyone was telling me Josephine's. Josephine's is great, don't get me wrong, but it's really expensive. Where I really found my peak here is at Mills End in Portland. It's really, really big. They had a bunch of varieties, and it looks like their stock like rotates pretty often. I got 4 yards of this beautiful like cornflower linen. It's really soft and nice, so I'll make a dress this summer from this. This will make more sense. I got this as an accent piece for a pair of fabric I'm going to make a pair of culotte overalls with. I think I'm going to make that for the channel in October, but we'll see. I got some swimsuit material. I actually need to whip this up soon because I'm about to head to Palm Springs, and I do want to whip up a couple of new swimsuits for myself for that trip, especially as like my body's changed. I think it's not a bad idea to revisit and re-up my swimsuits. So that's what this is. This is just a yard. And then I got this silk blend. It has some silk, some rayon, and I think a little bit of polyester in it. It's like this nice stripe. It actually it's a really subtle stripe. It kind of reminds me of historical fabric. I know it's not really historical fabric, but it kind of reminds me of it, and I'm not quite exactly sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I thought it was really pretty. It's fairly neutral and boring for me, but I thought it has a lot of potential, and I think I got 5 yards of this. Yeah, 5 yards. And then last is another silk. I do, depending on the silk, I've already pre-washed these. Sometimes I do throw my silks in the washing machine, depending on the purpose for them. If they're like supposed to be more of a gown, I don't throw them in the wash. But if I know I'm gonna make them stay into like a top with big blousey sleeves like this, I do throw them in the wash, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna wanna throw them in the wash. And so I like to pre-ruin the fabric to make sure I can wash it. And their silks were really quite decently priced there. This is a purple silk and I got about 3 yards of it. It like has these little black dots, and then the other side is like kind of more black with purple dots. So it's a really gorgeous color, and I'm excited to make a dress with it. Or not a dress, I'm gonna make a big poofy sleeved blouse, because those are kind of my favorite right now. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the shop I bought this on, but I cannot for the life of me. You having fun? So I will link this down below. I will link the shop name down below. It might be Modern Domestic, but don't quote me on it. But this is just a really gorgeous chambray fabric. Again, I kind of plan on making a big poofy sleeve blouse. That's kind of been my kick lately. I wear them to the office a lot. They're really useful for me, and I think this will be really pretty. Spooky, you're on my fabric pile. I know, it's so hard to be you. It's so hard. Spooky put her timing just right. I don't think you can tell because now she's on here, but this is some cute, it's a cotton dobby and it's really cute. It has little cats kind of poking up through the wave. This is the second fabric I'm gonna make those culotte overalls out of, and I think it's gonna be super fun. So I'm really excited about those. Next up, you will probably see me reach for this summer. I want to make a swimsuit cover-up and swimsuit for this channel this summer. Every summer, I usually make a swimsuit, and I kind of feel like I want to up the challenge because I'm feeling really confident in my sewing lately. Famous last words. So I wanted to make something else, so I bought this fabric for a cover-up. It kind of is beach towel-y feeling, and I think it'll be really fun. I'll probably put up a poll on the pattern for this. I am so conflicted between two patterns, so I'm curious what you guys would want to see, and I'm sure that'll come around like July or August. Next up, we're going to go through a patch of vintage fabrics I bought online. I kind of had a hard closet clean out where I got rid of some vintage pieces I absolutely adore and where I was kind of sad about. So I kind of bought some fabrics to make stuff with, make me feel better as if I don't have a giant stash already. So I did that. Whoops. I did get, they marked this as rayon. This is definitely polyester, which is totally fine. I just wish they were honest. But it's this beautiful hot pink with little like shapes and stripes on it. I think it's super fun. This guy here, if you have been around this channel a long time, which comment down below if you remember this, in a sewing video a long time ago, it was like kind of like a bunch of things that I sewed, like a sewing pile sewing video. I made a set out of this fabric, and the set no longer fits me, but I think if I just had a yard of fabric, which this is about 5/8 of a yard of fabric, I could actually make the set fit me again. And I adore this set. The idea of it not fitting me is very sad to me. So I picked up this fabric and I'm going to use it to make it. I'm not going to do this in a video, but I do plan on making like a little short showing you how I do this. And then the last online vintage fabric I bought is this. There is 5.5 yards of it, and it's this really, really cute wishing well fabric. Wishing wells are also kind of nostalgic for me. My grandma growing up had a wishing well in her backyard. It wasn't like a real well, but it was this cute little looking like vintage wishing well, and she's a huge reason I'm into vintage fashion. And so as a result, I kind of saw this fabric and felt like I had to have it. This next fabric I picked up at Lena's in Tacoma. She doesn't really specialize in fabric. I just found this in her warehouse, and I thought it was a really, really cute crepe that I could either make a skirt or a shirt out of. We'll see. I really like the colors. The colors are super me. All right, next up we are into half Denver trip with one little bit of Seattle here, but this first chunk of fabric up at the top I got at Sewn in Denver. Sewn in Denver, if you go to the very back of the store, at least last time I was there, they do switch out their store relatively frequently, but last time I was there, if you go straight back, they have a vintage sewing room with a bunch of fabrics. So I was going to be really good this time going there, which I was not, but I first found this wisteria fabric, and wisteria is one of my favorite flowers. It's one of my favorite reasons I live in Seattle, and I saw this and I just knew I had to have it to make a dress out of, so I picked it up. I'm going to be making this very soon. I think this is actually going to be next week's video. I'm going to put up a poll on the pattern I'm going to use for this, and I'm super excited because I love wisteria. The wisteria are hopefully about to bloom. bloom. We'll see. I guess the video could come out later if the wisteria blooms late, which everything's blooming late this year. So TBD, I am gonna wait till I can actually photograph this with wisteria. So we'll see, but it's so cute and so gorgeous, and I'm so excited to have found it. I've been looking for wisteria fabric that I actually like for a really long time, and this is the first time I've seen it. Next up from there is this really nice, it's a lightweight, I guess crepe. No, not crepe. It's like a nylon sheer fabric, very 60s, even though it's marked 50s. There is 6+ yards of this, so I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna make with it. It's lovely green with these little white flocked flowers. Say that 10 times fast. And I think they're really cute, and I'm really excited to make something with them. Next up, this is 3 3/8 of a yard. There is 35-inch wide, so I'll probably make a skirt with this, but it's this really pretty pink fabric with blue flowers. I can tell I have been talking a lot today because I am a little bit rough in my pronunciations, but it's just another really beautiful 1950s fabric that I'm excited to use. And last, I'm so pumped about these. I'm thinking I'm going to do a pair of overalls in these. But this here is a 1990s cotton. It's really cute, and I think it would make the absolutely perfect little short overalls, maybe with some rickrack that matches it. We'll see. But I think it would be really fun for that. I don't have enough overall plans to make anyway. It's a little bit out of control at this point. Next up, this is from Style Maker Fabrics here in Seattle. Well, they're north of Seattle. I'll link this fabric itself online. Warning, it is pretty pricey. This is pretty pricey fabric, but it's these beautiful watercolor fruits, and if there's one thing I love in this life, it is watercolor and fruits. So I had to pick it up, I had to have it, and I'm super excited about it, and can't wait to make a cute little summer dress out of it. And then we're down to our last bit. Some that I got earlier was also from Allen's Fabric in Denver, but these are some really extra special fabric pieces I picked up at Allen's. They are a bridal fabric store, so they have some really interesting pieces, one of which hopefully you'll be able to see. This it has like fringe and it's sparkly. It's gonna be a nightmare to sew, but I will be sewing this June for Pride. I'm using the black lining I showed you earlier with it, and it's going to be such a cute little number, so definitely stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already for that. It's gonna be such a cool piece. It's gonna have so much movement to it, and I am going to cover my whole entire apartment in glitter and probably lose all my hair over this project because of all the glitter that's going to be everywhere, but I'm so excited. It's such a beautiful fabric, and then you can kind of see on the other side how it's like basically striped rainbows. I'm not gonna... Wow, I started to unfold this. It was a mistake. Oh no, and now I'm gonna get more glitter on my apartment already. And then the last piece of fabric, I'm hoping you can see this, but it is a lavender holographic fabric. You will see me make this up, I think in July. I am going to be wearing this to my best friend's wedding. I'm gonna make, I think, a 1980s ball gown with it. We'll see. I haven't fully decided. If I need help deciding, I'll of course put a poll on the pattern. I'm really excited for their wedding. I'm excited for very few weddings, but I've not been to a queer wedding as a queer person, and it's something I'm really excited for, and I love them both so much. And I wanted to wear something really special, and both lavender and rainbow are queer colors, so I wanted to kind of make something really special for their wedding. Of course, I won't just wear it to their wedding. It will have a long life. It's going to be a really special piece to me, and I'm really excited to make this, and you will see this in July. So you will see these two special occasion fabrics very soon. The time will fly, and you will see them before you know it. I will get to make them before you know it, and I'm really excited to do that. So you will see some of these fabrics soon. I feel like I get a lot of fabrics in my stash, and then I don't make anything with them for like years, but you will at least see some of this stash pretty soon. I have it on the schedule. With that, I now have to hold myself accountable. So this year I said I was going to have to sew as much fabric as I am allowing into my stash. This is going to have put me way over stash budget. So I need to look at some math. I probably either need to declutter some fabrics, which there's some fabrics I need to declutter anyway. I've had them for a while and I have no interest in making anything with them. I need to be sewing a little bit more, which now that I am not traveling as much for the rest of this year should be totally doable. But that wraps up this haul. I hope you enjoyed seeing all these things. I'll list all the fabric shops that I mentioned down below. If they're local to you, please go and support your local fabric shops. We need them to stay. Seattle has almost nothing left. Don't be like Seattle. So with that, I will see you next time. Stay tuned for all these wonderful projects. I hope you enjoy them, and I will see you next time. Bye!